Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to our real Super Sunday cracker here on the Commentary Hub in association with JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, and of course, Commentary Hub 2. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. Welcoming you to the big game of the weekend. Chelsea, a trip to Arsenal, an Arsenal side that will be absolutely fuming after a horrible defeat you heard with us a week last Friday against Brentford, which was a comedy of errors. But Chelsea started very well, good result in their first match. Thomas Tuchel's side, probably second favourites for the title the way things are going. But it looks an intriguing encounter, and I can't wait to bring it to you live. Well, let's get all the important team news first, and let's join our man in the commentary box, Mike Harniman, who's with me this afternoon. He's going to be guiding you through it. Mike, team news.
Yeah, so first of all, they're just showing Martin Odegaard on my screen as well now. He's at the game today, but he hasn't got international clearance as of yet, so he's not involved today for the Gunners. I'll start off with the Chelsea side, though. In goal is Mendy, and the back three is Azpilicueta, Christensen and Rudiger, with James and Alonso, the two fullbacks, Jorginho and Kovacic, the two men in midfield, with Mount and Havertz playing off of the returning Belgium back in the Premier League, Romelu Lukaku, who starts for Thomas Tuchel's men today. The Gunners side, Bernd Leno in goal. Cedric comes in for Callum Chambers, who drops down to the bench. Rob Holding also comes in as well for Ben White, who's been ruled out because of COVID-19. So he partners Pablo Marie, and Kieran Tierney completes the four along the back, with Sambi Lokonga and Granit Xhaka continuing in midfield. Bukayo Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe and Gabriel Martinelli are the three behind the lone striker, which is Nicola Pepe, who is playing a false nine by the looks of it, with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang amongst the Arsenal subs alongside Maitland-Niles, Tavares, Callum Chambers, Nelson, El Neni, Balogun, Kolasinac, and the new signing from Sheffield United, Aaron Ramsdale, on the bench as well. The Chelsea bench is Arrizabalaga, Thiago Kante, Werner, Chalobah, Zuma, Hudson-Odoi, Chilwell, and Ziyech. The officials are Paul Tierney, who is your referee. Mark Perry and Timothy Wood are his assistants, with James Linnington, the fourth official. And the VAR is Graham Scott, who's assisted this afternoon by Harry Leonard. So that is your lineups as things are, with around about 5 minutes to go until the big game gets underway.
Thank you very much, Mike. We'll join you in time for the kickoff when the teams are coming out, and we'll give you a full recap, of course, guys, of all the team news if you missed it earlier. Two games earlier today were played earlier. Manchester United's 100% record has gone up in flames. A 1-1 draw at Southampton, a good result for Southampton, all things considered, after their early season, after their loss at Everton last week. A good fight back there, and Manchester United, everybody was talking about them doing good things. Well, they've struggled at Southampton and lost 1-0. And then the big news at Wolves was there was big news at Molineux. Not the fact that Tottenham won by a goal to nil, which was the final score, but Harry Kane travelled with the squad and came on as a second half substitute during that game as well. So a good win there for Tottenham Hotspur at Wolves, and Wolves now in a little bit of trouble at the start of the season. Of course, there was also a good win for Aston Villa yesterday. There was wins for Liverpool, Aston Villa, 2-2 between Leeds and Everton in a real cracker at Ellen Road yesterday. And of course, there was also wins for teams including Brighton as well. Brighton winning as well. Palace and Brentford finished 0-0 as well. But the teams are in the tunnel. Just to remind you what platforms we're on before we hand back to Mike in the commentary box. There's Chelsea. They were off to a fine start. 3-0 winners over Crystal Palace last week. But surely this must be the toughest test of their season. And what can Arsenal do in terms of a reaction after what was, let's be honest, a catastrophic defeat live on this channel a week last Friday against Brentford, where they made all sorts of errors at the back, leading to two soft goals from Brentford. Let me remind you what platforms we're on today. On YouTube, we're on JB Sports, Storm FM, JDAT Football, Commentary Hub 2, amongst others as well on YouTube. As for the other social media feeds, we're also on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch. Live right here, right now, as the Chelsea team come out. It's Arsenal against Chelsea from a very full Emirates Stadium. You'll hear from me again at halftime. It's time now to rejoin your match commentator with the recap of the team news and the whole of the first half. So let's say a very good afternoon again to Mike Harniman.
Thank you, JB. I will run you through the lineups yet again now, and I'll go through the formations as well. The Arsenal formation is a 4-2-3-1 with the Chelsea side lining up in their usual 3-4-2-1, and they start off with Mendy in goal, Azpilicueta, Christensen and Rudiger among the defence, with James and Alonso, the fullbacks, Jorginho and Kovacic in midfield, with Mount and Havertz playing off of the Belgian Romelu Lukaku. 2 years away, of course, for him. He's back in the blue of Chelsea as well now after last lining up in the Premier League for Man United. The Arsenal side is Bernd Leno, Cedric Suarez, Rob Holding, Pablo Mari and Kieran Tierney, with Sambi Lokonga, Granit Xhaka captain in the side yet again on the back of Aubameyang being out last week and only being fit enough for the subs bench today. Romelu Lukaku has been actually involved in 35 goals in 36 Serie A appearances last season, and I'm sure he wants to continue that in the Premier League on his return. We've got Bukayo Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Gabriel Martinelli and Nicola Pepe completing the Arsenal side. The subs are Arrizabalaga, Thiago Kante, Werner, Chalobah, Zuma, Hudson-Odoi, Chilwell and Ziyech for Chelsea. And Aubameyang, Maitland-Niles, Tavares, Callum Chambers, Nelson, Elneny, Balogun drops down to the bench, Kolasinac and goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. Referee is Paul Tierney, and he's assisted by Mark Perry and Timothy Wood. James Linnington, is the fourth official, with VAR, Graham Scott and Harry Leonard assisting him. Of course, the Gunners won both meetings last season as well, winning this fixture by 3-1. It was a case of Laka, Xhaka and Saka for the Gunners last season in that 3-1 victory, with a late Tammy Abraham goal for Chelsea being their consolation. Of course, Arsenal won the reverse as well in the game at Stamford Bridge by 1-0, and that was Emil Smith-Rowe that day. But the last meeting in any competition was just a few weeks ago, in fact, when Chelsea won by 2-1 in the Mine Series. But don't look at that too much, because obviously that is just a pre-season competition. Here's Albert Lokonga now for Arsenal, onto Cedric Suarez, and now Rob Holding knocks it back to Bernd Leno, who is just going to take a couple of touches there. Arsenal in their home red, white, and then the red and white socks as well, shooting from left to right in the first half. Chelsea from right to left in their usual blue shirts, blue shorts, and their blue socks as well. And Rob Holding in possession now, on to Lokonga, the £15 million signing for Arsenal. Here's Granit Xhaka now, and he's going to knock it long, looking for Bukayo Saka, onto Smith-Rowe. And Smith-Rowe has a shot, but straight down the nose of Mendy there, and that was comfortable for the Chelsea goalkeeper. Of course, in terms of past meetings, Arsenal are the side who have won the most meetings, 80 wins in total. Chelsea winning 65, and then there being 58 draws. And Arsenal, in fact, have won the last couple of meetings in all competitions, not just last season as well, but also that FA Cup final. And Chelsea's last win at the Emirates was actually back in 2019 by 2-1 that day. And that was actually Mikel Arteta's first game as manager of the Gunners as well, where Jorginho and Tammy Abraham scored for the Blues, and Aubameyang had given the Arsenal the lead there. That was, of course, Chelsea side managed by Frank Lampard as well. And it's all changed at Chelsea since January. And it's them in possession now with Jorginho. Here's Kai Havertz now. Looks to go out to Alonso. Alonso up against Cedric. And knocks it on there to Reece James. And it's well blocked there by a mixture of Rob Holding and Granit Xhaka, who's gone down at the moment, holding his head there. And early on, it's been quite an interesting start to this game. Chelsea looking to get on top, and that was a good effort there from Reece James, and good defending there by Granit Xhaka. Very brave, the Swiss man there, to get his head in the way of that one. And he is just laying down on the floor at the moment, and he's got a couple of Arsenal players surrounding him, and now the physio is going to come on as well, just to have a look at what has happened there and to give him the necessary treatment. Of course, with a concussion protocol in place as well, that needs to be done. And Mikel Arteta now is just having a chat to some of his coaching staff there. He does look a little bit worried, as you see some of the Arsenal subs there, including Kolasinac, who is rumoured to be on his way out, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who will probably get on at some stage today on the back of suffering from COVID. Alex Lacazette unavailable still because of COVID. He's still a few days away and probably will be back in the Gunners side as of next weekend rather than featuring today because of the isolation rules, etc. Willian also out with COVID. Runnison, the goalkeeper, also has COVID as well. And Ben White, the latest casualty due to the virus, missing out today, the £50 million man from Brighton. And it's Marcus Alonso now with a throw-on for Chelsea. He's going to throw it back to Rudiger now. He's going to knock it across to Christensen and then on one more to Azpilicueta. And back to Andreas Christensen again. Chelsea just keeping possession at the moment. Here's Jorginho now out to... That's Reece James there. Part of that England side, of course, who got through to the Euros final and only narrowly lost to Italy on penalties. Sorry for reminding everybody again as well, because I was hurting as much as anyone else. Here's Jorginho now, who was one of the Italians to miss from the spot in that final. And here's Azpilicueta now on to Kovacic. And here's Rudiger. Back to Kovacic once more. Looking to go to Lukaku now for Chelsea. Here's Kai Havertz. And his effort has been blocked there and behind for a throw-in off of Rob Holding. You're listening, of course, to the Commentary Hub in partnership with JB Sports, also JDAC Football, Storm FM, Commentary Hub 2 as well. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch, and streaming partner for the season is Melon. So go to Melon app. I think it's .co.uk, I believe. But if you type in Melon app on Google, you can have a look at what is on offer there. Of course, the man of the match sponsor, which we'll go to later on in this game, yet again, as of last season, is the fantastic commentary services as well. And here is Rob Holding now for the Arsenal back line onto, I think that is Granit Xhaka now. There's a through ball there, but it's seen back to Mendy. And he's going to just play it short there. Looks like Martinelli is the man furthest forward for Arsenal. So it does look like he's the man leading the line. And Pepe is from the wing. So a slight change to what I mentioned at the start. Of course, both featured last week, as did Balogun as well. The young protege of Arsenal, who is only on the bench today. And it would have been a massive game for him had he started this one. So probably the correct call. Of course, Eddie Nketiah also still out, injured as well and unavailable. And here is a free kick now to Chelsea. And it's not back to Azpilicueta onto Mendy. And he's going to just play it out to Rudiger now. And on it goes to Mendy once more. That was closed down by Martinelli, but he couldn't quite get to that. Here's Reece James now on to Jorginho. That was Mason Mount involved there as well, just for a moment. It's a Chelsea throw. 6 minutes and 50 seconds now. If you want to sync up your channels with our commentary today and get the full live experience in real time. Here is Kovacic now, the Croatian, on to Mason Mount. Looking for Reece James, the two England men combining. And it's hook clear there by Kieran Tierney. Looking for Martinelli. course, Martinelli scored a fantastic goal at Chelsea just a couple of seasons ago when Arsenal and Chelsea played out that 2-2 draw. Hector Bellerin scoring for Arsenal that day as well. And I'm sure everyone remembers that Martinelli goal because he ran pretty much the whole length of the pitch before slotting it past the Chelsea keeper. And it's Rudiger now in possession. Here's Marcus Alonso in to Kovacic to Jorginho looking for Lukaku. And it's seen behind there by Rob Holding for an Arsenal goal kick as Thomas Tuchel still looks quite focused on the task ahead at this present moment in time. And, you never really see him break a smile too often. And he certainly wasn't there. He was very much a little bit frustrated maybe at that ball through to Lukaku, knowing that if that was the correct ball, then Lukaku could get on the end of that one and really test the Arsenal back line and the German goalkeeper, Bernd Leno, as well. He's going to take this goal kick now. And he goes long, choosing not to play it out from the back. And it's a chance here for Bukayo Saka now. And here's Kieran Tierney, the Scotsman. Back to Saka. On to Kieran Tierney. Into the box he goes, looking for, I think that was Pepe, but it's tidied up by Alonso and smacked clear for a throw on. And, of course, the fans are back in the Emirates as well today. And I'm sure it's going to be a real atmospheric kind of stadium right now in terms of the fans. Well, in fact, it is a very atmospheric stadium, I should say now, in terms of the fans. And it's the right kind of atmosphere at the moment for Mikel Arteta. But if things start to go wrong, I'm sure there'll probably be a chorus of boos ringing around the Emirates if things do go against his side. There's a corner kick for Arsenal coming up in a moment. It was a good ball out by Kieran Tierney looking for Martinelli, and Smith Rowe was coming in round the back, but Alonso had to put it behind there. He was alert to the danger. It's been quite an interesting and entertaining opening 10 minutes. Quite sort of to-ing and fro-ing, in fact, between the two sides as well. And it's Nicola Pepe with this corner now for the hosts. And he's going to whip it in, looking for Smith Rowe. And he knocks it on, but only into the hands of Mendy, as Lokonga's complaining about something there. But the referee didn't fancy putting up on that one. It looked like there was something maybe with Alonso, but not anything in terms of a penalty anyway. Just a bit of pushing and shoving between the pair of them, really. Sort of more of a coming together. There's certainly a few players looking up for this one on both sides today so far. Here is Bukayo Saka now, but in fact there's a flag up there against Gabriel Martinelli, the Brazilian. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him up front today. Of course, two very different sort of strikers in terms of Romelu Lukaku being the big, strong and physical presence that he is, with Martinelli being more sort of technical in terms of the Brazilian who is leading the line for Arsenal today. Here is Nicola Pepe now. He's gone on a good run here as well. What can the Ivorian do? He gives it to Sambi Lokonga. Here's Bukayo Saka now. On to Smith Rowe. The two prodigies of Hale End. It's now with Saka yet again. Going to try and whip it in, and it's put behind for a throw in there by the Dane Andreas Christensen. And it's taken quickly by Saka to Tierney. And now it's with Granit Xhaka for Arsenal, the captain for the day. Here's Rob Holding now. On to Cedric Suarez. Of course, former Southampton man Suarez as well. Their side drawing 1-1 against Manchester United earlier on. And Tottenham continuing their good start to the season as well earlier with a 1-0 victory at Molineux against Wolverhampton Wanderers. With Dele Alli on the score sheet from the penalty spot in that one. Of course, they are now second in the table. Third in the table, I believe, actually. And Brighton are up there as well. Dizzying heights if you're a Seagulls fan right now. Here's Rudiger now for Chelsea. Out to Azpilicueta. On to Reece James. Here's Christensen. Back it goes to Mendy. And Mendy plays it into Kovacic now, up to Rudiger. And Chelsea just looking to keep some possession for a moment. Here's Kovacic, the Croatian once more. Looking to bring it out to Kai Havertz now, the German. And here is Azpilicueta from Kovacic's ball. There's Mason Mount now up against Granit Xhaka. Good time by the England man as well. And the Swiss man wins it back though. Here's Saka. It's very congested midfield at the moment. And the Chelsea free kick has been won there as Nicola Pepe caught Marcus Alonso, the Chelsea left fullback. Just on around about halfway. And it's Kovacic now for Chelsea. Still, if you're just joining us, it's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0. You're listening to the Commentary Hub, JB Sports, Commentary Hub 2, JDAC Football, and also live on Storm FM as well, and on the Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. And it's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0, with no real clear-cut chances for either side as of yet in the opening 13 and a half minutes of this game. And both sides really just looking to feel each other out at the moment and see which side is able to get on top. Here's Reece James now for Chelsea. Gone behind off Kieran Tierney therefore, and a Chelsea throw-on. And it's now with Azpilicueta back to Christensen. It's now Kovacic on to Rudiger. Back to Kovacic once more. Good turn by Kovacic as well, looking for Lukaku. Back to Kovacic once more. Goes out wide to Reece James. Chance here for Chelsea. Looking to find Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku has given Chelsea the lead. 14 minutes gone. And it's the returning man, the Belgian. Of course, I mentioned at the start of the programme. Fantastic in Serie A last season. And he's back with a bang for Chelsea. Romelu Lukaku on the goal line there has given Chelsea the lead at the Emirates. I wonder if there's going to be a VAR check on this one, though, whether he's onside or not. We'll have to have a look here. It's good play. Kovacic there looking for Reece James. Reece James does well there. As an Arsenal man goes down and Romelu Lukaku puts into the back of the net. I think it's Pablo Mari that went down. As it stands at the moment, it is 1-0 to Chelsea. But I think there is going to... I wonder if there will be a VAR check on this or whether the goal will stand and Lukaku will get to keep his first goal in the Chelsea shirt as of this season, 2021-22, of course. Just going to have a look here now. It does look like the goal has stood as well. First goal for Chelsea on his 16th appearance. It's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1. Romelu Lukaku, the goal scorer. And it's Nicola Pepe trying to battle back here for Arsenal now. And it's with Jorginho. Bit of a delayed reaction there. I'm doing it all on my own mostly today in terms of the producing and that as well. But it is 1-0 to Chelsea. And Romelu Lukaku grabbing the goal just a moment ago to give the Blues and Thomas Tuchel's men an early lead in this Premier League game. The London derby, of course. And Arsenal have it all to do yet again. Of course, the last London derby for the Gunners was only last week when it was 2-0 to Brentford on their opening game of the Premier League. And it looks very much like Chelsea could well be causing Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal side and those fans at the Emirates plenty more discontent as well. Currently Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1. Lukaku just burying around about a minute or so ago, maybe 2 minutes ago on the clock there. Here's Xhaka now for Arsenal, looking to find Pepe. Marcus Alonso up into the air though. It's now with Lokonga. Here's Cedric, back to Lokonga again. And Cedric Suarez to Smith Rowe. Here's Pepe. Back to Rob Holding. Now it's on to Pablo Mari. Of course, Rob holding in for Ben White, who is missing out through COVID-19, if you're joining us late as well. Also, Hector Bellerin not available today for Arsenal. And of course, Chelsea fans, I'm sure you all know too well about the fact that you've had a few players out lately as well. And I'm sure you'll be delighted to hear that N'Golo Kante is amongst your substitutes. And as for the Gunners, Aubameyang is on the bench as well. Here's Reece James now for Chelsea. Is that going to go behind for a corner? In fact, no, it's kept in. Off of Kieran Tierney. Now it's back with Azpilicueta. On to Reece James. Reece James gets it back from Mason Mount and it's straight through into the hands of Bernd Leno, who claims that comfortably. And he's going to bowl it out to Sambi Lokonga now. Here's Bukayo Saka. Of course, it was great to see the touch from Brentford last week in regards to Bukayo Saka. In fact, it's been great in the last few weeks as well regarding all of the support that he's been getting on the back of some of those racist comments he was getting after the Euro final. It was great to have Brentford, Arsenal, even Tottenham fans coming together in that Mind series as well in support of Bukayo Saka. It's Pablo Mari trying to find Saka now, and it's gone behind and out of play for a Chelsea goal kick. And they lead by a 1-0. Romelu Lukaku scoring just a matter of moments ago on his return to Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea won the Champions League last season as well with a victory in that one over Manchester City. And they also won the Super Cup just the other week on penalties against Villarreal. And, of course, were beaten FA Cup finalists as well. So kind of two contrasting seasons, really, with Chelsea being as successful as they were and Arsenal missing out on Europe for the first time in over 20 years. It's gone behind here for a Chelsea corner, I believe. Romelu Lukaku using his presence there and his physicality up against one of the Arsenal defenders. I think it was Pablo Mari, and it gone behind that off of Rob Holding from, I think it was Mason Mount on the attack. There's nothing wrong with that from Lukaku, though. Just being big, strong and physical and absolutely fine and fair with what he was doing there. It's a corner for Chelsea now. Punched out by Leno to Jorginho. Here's Mason Mount. Out to Alonso, I think that is. Going to whip it in now to Reece James. On it goes to Kovacic. Back to Reece James. Tries to whip it into the box. Lukaku gets up and he heads that one over the top of Bernd Leno's goal. And Arsenal can breathe again for this moment in time as Lukaku there has already got one goal to his name today, and he's looking hungry to add to that as well, is the big Belgian. It's Bernd Leno with his goal kick now for Arsenal. The German goalkeeper, of course, was involved at the Euros, but didn't actually feature. He was more of a substitute. Here's Nicola Pepe now, looking for Bukayo Saka. He's got a couple of men in support, including Martinelli as well. But here's Saka, good defending that from Azpilicueta, but only as far as Kieran Tierney now. On to Granit Xhaka. Scored in this fixture last year. Here's Tierney. That's now Mason Mount for Chelsea. On to Lukaku, and Lukaku does well to win the throw-in there off one of the Arsenal men there. I think it might have been potentially Granit Xhaka. Couldn't quite see though. Just showing this chance here again for Arsenal now. And it was a bit of a loose touch from Bukayo Saka. I think he took a bit too long on that. Dallying on the ball a little bit there. The English protege. And here is Rudiger now for Chelsea. Here's Alonso. Now it's Kovacic. Back to Marcos Alonso once more. All the way back to Christensen. And on one more to Azpilicueta. Playing part of the three. And Christensen to Kovacic now. Here's Rudiger. Rudiger tries to play it down the line onto Lukaku, but Rob Holding gets up and wins that one in the air. And it's now Kovacic again. Here's Rudiger now. I'm going to try to go back to Mendy. which he does with ease as well. Back to Rudiger once more. Because I mentioned at the start of the programme, it was back a couple of years ago now, 2019, I believe, that Chelsea were last victorious at the Emirates by 2-1, and it's them on the attack again now with Reece James. Mason Mount has the shot there, but it's been deflected behind for a Chelsea corner. It was good play there from Chelsea on the counter-attack. Arsenal very sloppy and slow in possession. It's giving the ball away and then very slow at trying to get back and defend it as well. And Pablo Mari was the man in the right place at the right time. 23 minutes played. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1. Romelu Lukaku's 15th minute goal to difference so far. And it's Andreas Christensen now for the Blues. On to Jorginho. Back to Christensen again. Here's Kovacic. And it's round the back there for Alonso, but it's too long for him. Couldn't quite keep it in there and gone behind for an Arsenal goal kick. Of course, Mikel Arteta finished 8th last season. The former Barcelona, PSG, Rangers, Everton and Arsenal midfielder. Also captained Arsenal as well, remember, in the 2014-2015 season and 2013-2014 as well, where he won the 2013 and 2014 and 2014-2015 FA Cups and Community Shields as well as a player. And the 2019-2020 FA Cup and 2020-20 Community Shield as well was also won by Arteta in his first managerial role in England, or in the game, of course, in fact, after working under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City before that. And it's a throw in here to Arsenal now. And it's Cedric Suarez over this. Going to look to throw it short to Smith Rowe, but going to take a couple of run-ups to try and get this throw in play. And he's going to go back and try again now, is he? Yes. And he just throws it short to Pepe and gone behind off of Pepe. And the last touch, it's gone, excuse me, for a Chelsea throw. Of course, Chelsea victorious last week against Crystal Palace by 3-0. And Arsenal beaten in the Community Stadium against Brentford. So 2 contrasting starts to the season so far. Chelsea cruising that one, and Arsenal had, of course, players missing last week, but can't be looking for excuses there if you're Mikel Arteta, of course, and as he wasn't, in fact, after that defeat as well. So throw in here to be taken by Marcos Alonso now for Chelsea. Coming up to 26 minutes played. And it is Thomas Tuchel's men that have the advantage so far, thanks to Romelu Lukaku's goal around about 10 minutes ago. Here's Azpilicueta now. On to Reece James. Rob Holding now out to Kieran Tierney for Arsenal. Kieran Tierney looking to bring it into midfield, and he does well there, but then it's given away. Took a deflection on the way up, and it went to Alonso, then Rudiger, and now Christensen. And now it's Azpilicueta, and now with Kovacic, looking for Mason Mount now. Here's Kai Havertz for Chelsea, the German. Of course, his countryman, Timo Werner, amongst the subs for Thomas Tuchel's men today as well. Here's Mason Mount onto Lukaku now. Lukaku turns, and it's well blocked there by Granit Xhaka, I think that was, and behind for a throw-on. In fact, it was Pablo Mari, was it, in fact? Granit Xhaka was in there as well, but it was Pablo Mari, the Spaniard, that got it away, as he did just there, hooking that one away from danger as well. And here is Azpilicueta now to Christensen. And now Rudiger. The German plays it down the line onto the Belgian Lukaku. Now it is Kai Havertz. Reece James tried to stretch for that one, but couldn't keep it in. And Arsenal have a throw on and a little bit of breathing, a little bit of time to breathe there as well. On the back of Chelsea being quite dominant in the last sort of 10, 15 minutes or so. Can't really argue the fact that the Blues do deserve to be ahead in this one at the moment either. Of course, just looking at the screen there, Smith Rowe, the new Arsenal number 10, was the difference in the last league meeting between these sides in the 1-0 victory at Stamford Bridge. And that came very much against the run of play in that fixture as well, with the Arsenal man scoring. But Chelsea very dominant on that day. And if they did have somebody like a Lukaku, probably would have been victorious in that game. Here's Pepe now. He's going to leave the throw in to Cedric Suarez. Going to throw it on to Pepe. Back to Cedric once more. Now it's with Lokonga. The Belgian whips it in. Here's Xhaka now. Is there a free kick there for Arsenal? Referee says no. Xhaka keeps possession now. Here's Lokonga now. Going to have a shot. And that is not troubling Edouard Mendy in the Chelsea goal. A little bit better from Arsenal though. Granit Xhaka thought he could have had a free kick for a moment. Then Bukayo Saka knocked it back to him on the edge of the box. And then Albert Lokonga has a sighter at goal. But well wide in the end of the Chelsea goalkeeper Mendy's goal there, as Chelsea have had 6 attempts to Arsenal's 2 and 1 each on target. And of course, the score that matters is the one in the top corner, which is Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1. Romelu Lukaku, the goal scorer. Around about 15 minutes ago. Here's Alonso now. Here's Lukaku again. As a sighter there. Well blocked by Rob Holding for Arsenal. Jorginho wins it back though. Here's Lokonga now. Now it is Saka, I think that was, giving it away. Now it's Havertz. Gets it back as well. Now it's Kovacic. And Christensen on to Azpilicueta. And Chelsea just playing it around in midfield at the moment. And Arsenal seem happy to let them do so. Here's Christensen on to Rudiger. Now it's Alonso. And Marcus Alonso back to Antonio Rudiger now all the way back to Mendy. There's a chance here for Chelsea just to play it around at the back, and they're going to try and play it out from the back, which they have done. And Havertz gives it to James and now goes back to Mendy, and he switches it out to Rudiger. 15 minutes left of the first half. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1. Given away by Rudiger to Pepe, but then Pepe miscontrolled it and Chelsea have it back now. And it's Kai Havertz on the run, looking for the overlap of Reece James, which he does. And Reece James gets that cross all wrong, but it's still with a blue shirt, and it's Mason Mount now. And his shot is very tame and straight down the nose of Bernd Leno there, who was comfortable and just falls on that one. And Arsenal just going to have a look what to do here now, whether to play it short or I think he just bowls it out in the end as Bernd Leno to Lokonga. Now Xhaka tries to play it to Martinelli. Poor ball though by the Swiss international, and all the way back with Chelsea now. Very sloppy in possession yet again there, Arsenal. And here's Christensen now to Azpilicueta. And Reece James now back to Christensen. Gets it back from Kovacic, and now Rudiger as well. It doesn't get any easier for Mikel Arteta's men with a trip to West Brom in midweek in the Carabao Cup. West Brom firing in the Championship as well and doing very, very well in that division before Manchester City away. And Mikel Arteta returning to a former haunting ground of his before then hosting Norwich and then away at Burnley before the North London derby against Tottenham. And then a trip to Brighton as well. In fact, it's a side that are another side that have started this season very well so far, winning 2 from 2. Here's Rob Holding now. Here's Smith Rowe. On to Pepe. Back to Smith Rowe now. It's Cedric. Cedric looks for Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe looking for Pepe. Chance here for Pepe. What's he going to do here? Tries to find Granit Xhaka. Out it goes to Kieran Tierney now. Arsenal trying to turn the screw a little bit now. Trying to find the opening. Here's Bukayo Saka. Looking for Lokonga. Lokonga is going to have another sighter again. No, he tries to find Saka, but well defended there from Azpilicueta. And now Chelsea can counter. And it's a free kick here now as Pablo Mari goes through the back of Romelu Lukaku. And that's the first yellow of the game as well for the Spanish centre-back. Of course, Chelsea's next few fixtures, they've got some very important games coming up as well. Liverpool next weekend on the 5:30 kickoff at Anfield. Then Aston Villa following on from that. And then Chelsea travel to Tottenham and then host Man City before games against Southampton and Brentford in their next few. And of course, they're looking to continue on with that fantastic run from the start of last week as well. Here's a chance now for Reece James. And Reece James has put it into the back of the net. He was found there by Mason Mount. And the two Englishmen combined. Mason Mount finds Reece James. Reece James involved in the first, scores the second. And it's 2-0 to Chelsea now. And it's all to do, even with 10 minutes left of the first half for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. And I'm sure the momentum will probably start to change soon in terms of the fans as well. Because there is, after last week, lots of discontent around the Emirates Stadium. Poor defending as well from Arsenal there. Granit Xhaka tried to do his bit, but there was nobody really marking Reece James. It was found out very easily, really, by Mason Mount. Took a touch, smashed it into the back of the net. And Chelsea are 2-0 ahead now. 10 minutes to go until half-time. Reece James double in. Romelu Lukaku's goal. And in this London derby, it's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. And it looks like Chelsea are on course, as things stand, for their first victory at the Emirates in the league since 2019. What a goal that was as well. Lovely finish from the English fullback. And it's now with Mendy for Chelsea. Just going to quickly adjust this as well for anyone that is watching and wants to know what's happening. So there we are. And it's Chelsea in possession now with Christensen. He gets it back as well now. Azpilicueta. Back to Christensen. I wonder whether it will be too early to see Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang even at half-time for Mikel Arteta's men. He was only 50-50 up until this game and did only train as of yesterday, getting himself ready for this match. So that's why he's only on the bench today. But Mikel Arteta might have to use him a lot sooner than he was probably planning on. Although Chelsea, as Mikel Arteta knows, are a fantastic side and currently champions of Europe as well, as I mentioned earlier. Here's Kovacic now. Azpilicueta now. And it's now with Pablo Mari. Here's Smith Rowe. Saka. Kieran Tierney for Arsenal. Excuse me. Here's Smith Rowe. Here's Pablo Mari. And Cedric Suarez. I bet Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal backroom staff ruin the fact that Martin Odegaard and his international clearance didn't come through in time either as well. So, maybe he's probably thinking to himself, if we could have got this deal done maybe a week earlier, then Martin could have been involved today. And of course, he was one of the players that Mikel Arteta really did like, and he was very pleased to bring back to the Emirates. But hopefully, for his sake, he's able to use him as early as next week in maybe even the Carabao Cup game on, I believe, Tuesday night, I think it is. Coming up to 38 minutes played now. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Goal scored by Romelu Lukaku after 15 minutes, and that's just been doubled not too long ago by the fullback Reece James. That's Pablo Mari, the only man on a booking so far. Going through the back of Lukaku, which was why Mari's in the book. Here's Lokonga now to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe for Arsenal, trying to find Kieran Tierney. The Saka, Smith Rowe couldn't get on the end of that one, and it's easily controlled by Edouard Mendy. Just fell on the ball there, and it's going to probably take an age now, as goalkeepers tend to do sometimes when your side are leading. Just a kind of little bit of sportsmanship and just to waste a few seconds. Here is Kai Havertz now for Chelsea. Looking to make things happen. Here is Mason Mount, was involved in the second goal. Got the assist, of course. Mason Mount turns Pablo Mari. And it's chance there, looking for Kai Havertz. Couldn't quite get his head on that one. Maybe an inch taller. If Kai Havertz was maybe an inch taller, that would have been probably 3-0 to Chelsea there. Good lofted ball by Mason Mount. Trying to aim for the head of Kai Havertz. In fact, he does get a head on it, looking for Romelu Lukaku. And it's directed away from goal in the end. Here's Saka now, looking for Pepe. Good defending by Alonso. It's now with Bernd Leno. Of course, you're listening to the Commentary Hub in partnership with JB Sports. Also, Storm FM, JDAC Football, and Commentary Hub 2 as well. Streaming partners are Melon for this season. And, of course, you're also listening to us possibly on Twitch, Twitter, and Periscope as well. As we are coming up to around about 5 minutes from half-time. And it's still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. And Arsenal have possession through Nicola Pepe. Now, is that a penalty there? The referee says no. It did look like Saka was caught, possibly. He went down there, did the England man. Reece James, the potential guilty party. Let's have a look at this one again from a different angle. Does look like he's clipped his leg there, potentially Reece James. It's good play by Nicola Pepe, sorry. He nutmegs Azpilicueta there. And on to Saka. He is shoved to the floor. And there is going to be a VAR check as well against Reece James here. Originally no penalty. But they are VAR checking it right now. And Arsenal maybe will have a way back into this one if this does get overturned and the penalty does indeed get given in the end. In fact, the referee and the officials have looked at it again and said no penalty. Probably the correct call. In fact, it was kind of a coming together more than anything else. It would have been probably quite harsh. There's a corner by Nicola Pepe now for Arsenal. A few men up from the back, including Marie and Holding. Xhaka's in there as well. Bit of pushing and shoving on the goal line, I think, here with Mendy, Azpilicueta, Jorginho. Xhaka is now shoving Azpilicueta as well. It's mostly Azpilicueta and Xhaka, the two involved. It's tidied up there by Chelsea and hook clear by Mason Mount, but only as far as Kieran Tierney for Arsenal. Here's Bukayo Saka now, on to Nicola Pepe. Back to Saka again. Here's Kieran Tierney. But Leno out to Bukayo Saka now. Coming up to the end of the first half. Good ball by Saka to Martinelli now. Up against Rudiger, who does very, very well and comes across really well there to put it behind for an Arsenal throw-in. Good defending there from the German. It's almost an inch-perfect ball from the Arsenal man there for Martinelli, but Rudiger done very well to defend and get that one clear. Saka now to Smith Rowe. Here's Saka once more. He's got a few men in support, including Lokonga as well, but he goes back instead to Pablo Mari. Out it goes now to Smith Rowe yet again for Arsenal. On to Kieran Tierney now. Smith Rowe couldn't quite get on the end of that one. And Chelsea not able to keep it in for Aspilicueta now. It's gone behind for an Arsenal throw-in. Big moment here for Mikel Arteta's man. If they are to get a goal just before half-time, it could really make for an interesting start to the second half. As rain is now falling from the Emirates as well, and it's gone behind for a corner there. Kieran Tierney wins that off of Reece James, the Chelsea second goal scorer, who, of course, doubled Romelu Lukaku's earlier goal. Coming up to 1 minute plus additional time. There's a few men coming up from this corner, including Pablo Mari and Rob Holding again. Arsenal trying to swarm the box. Whipped in by Pepe. Here's Cedric Suarez now. Tries to cross it in. Header by Mari to Rob Holding. Couldn't quite direct that one. And good defending by Rudiger. And hook clear by Alonso. And out of play for an Arsenal throw. Good defending there from Chelsea as Rob Holding and Rudiger just having a bit of a shoving match there between the two of them. And Marcus Alonso is down. But Rob Holding has joined Pablo Mari in the book. So that's now both of Mikel Arteta's centre-backs on yellow cards. Rob Holding there. Bit of a shoving match. I'm not too sure what started that, really, to be honest with you. But he does join his centre-back partner in the book. That was actually a very late challenge as well by Rob Holding. And you can see why Rudiger has taken exception to that challenge by holding on Alonso when you look back at it from another angle. Rightfully in the book as well. Very late kind of scissor challenge, in fact, there by the former Bolton Wanderers man. Marcus Alonso is up to his feet, though. We are going to be finding out in just a matter of seconds how much additional time we have as well. Currently, Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Romelu Lukaku and Reece James, the Chelsea goal scorers. And we're in 2 minutes of additional time in this game at the Emirates Stadium. And Arsenal have it all to do as things stand. Here's Kieran Tierney to Saka now. Looking for Xhaka. Xhaka wins the corner there, does he? Yes, he does, off of Jorginho, the Italian midfielder. I'll go back to what I was saying a moment ago. If Arsenal do get the next goal and do manage to get it just before half-time, it really could see a change in Mikel Arteta's team talk. Because at the moment, it has been a very dominant first half from Thomas Tuchel's Blues. As we enter the first of the 2 minutes, added on. Pepe's corner. It's gone back to him now. Good defending by Chelsea. What can Pepe do here? Goes back to Sambi Lokonga now. And in fact, there's an offside flag there. Up against Nicola Pepe. So the Ivorian is unable to do anything on that attack there. And it's coming up to 30 seconds left of this first half. Romelu Lukaku and Reece James both on the score sheet for Chelsea. Up against a sorry Arsenal at the moment, who haven't really created too many clear-cut opportunities. And the Emirates Stadium is very wet in terms of the stadium. And it's probably going to be very wet in terms of the dressing room as well. There might be a few cups and things thrown around, maybe, if Mikel Arteta does decide on that. And it's half-time now. The whistle has just been blown. And it's gone just right there as they show Romelu Lukaku on the screen now. Of course, scoring Chelsea's opening goal after 15 minutes. Reece James doubling the lead for Thomas Tuchel's men. And at half-time in this London derby, it's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Big ask for Mikel Arteta. Will it be Aubameyang at half-time for the Gunners? They certainly have to change something. Over to you, JB.
Well, thank you, Mike. You go and simmer down a little bit. You sound a little bit hoarse after that first half. Oh, dear, Arsenal. It's really sad to see Arsenal in this sort of trouble. A great club with great tradition, great history behind it. But at the moment, their start to this season is beyond words. And as Mike said towards the end of his first half commentary there, sorry, Arsenal. Chelsea, on the other hand, looking superb. Romelu Lukaku, second debut, a goal for him. Reece James, who set up the first, scored the second. It's looking very ominous at the moment for Chelsea, for Arsenal at the moment. As Mike actually said in the roundup there, the summing up of the first half from his viewpoint, a big 45 minutes. And potentially Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who has recovered from COVID, is amongst the substitutes. But as Mike said in the commentary as well, he's only trained at least one day. So at the moment, as things stand, Arsenal will be 19th points, 19th with 0 points, and Chelsea would actually be top on goal difference. That is the outlook now that awaits everybody here at the Emirates Stadium. Earlier today, let me remind you of the other scores. Southampton won, Manchester United won. So United's 100% record has gone. They were held to a draw at St Mary's, and Tottenham won by 1-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. But the big story was that Harry Kane travelled with the Tottenham squad to Molineux and did play a part in the second half as a substitute. And just to remind you of up-and-coming commentaries, well, we've certainly got one. We've got the Monday Night Football tomorrow night, the first one of the new season. Russ Vernon will be exactly where I am now in around about just over 24 hours from now. 7:50 start. Liam Brusby will be our match commentator as West Ham take on FA Cup winners and Community Shield winners, Leicester City. And they'll be all on the same platforms as we are listening to today. Don't forget, we're live here on the Commentary Hub itself, JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, Commentary Hub 2, and then other social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitter as well. We're on Periscope, and we're on Twitch. Our Twitter handle, incidentally, is Commentary Live 1. I was reliably informed. I said @TC Hub, but it's not. I now stand corrected. Russ has put me right on that. It's at Commentary Hub 1. It's at Commentary Live, 1. Okay, we'll get the Twitter handle right. Of course, Mike Harniman's Twitter feed is at Stevenage Gunner, and my Twitter feed is at Stutzy83 if you want to communicate with us sort of individually, if you like, this afternoon. But here at the moment, it's 1-0. Of course, yesterday we had a good result for Liverpool, beating my club, Burnley 2-0. I just want to touch on Burnley a little bit because I'm sure some of you guys have already seen the video I put out on JB Sports. That was a little bit of a rude aversion. But there is genuine concern, certainly amongst supporters, Burnley fans like me, that our bench certainly isn't good enough. And you look at the Burnley bench yesterday, you look at the likes of Peters and Bardsley, and then the three youngsters under 20 who have been untried boys at this particular level for a long while now, and then you've got two goalkeepers. It really does. I mean, Burnley alongside Arsenal have become a little bit of a laughingstock, quite honestly, and it's sad to see two nice clubs like Burnley and Arsenal struggling at the wrong end of the table. Now I know how Mike feels a lot of the time. That is for sure. There we go. As well, Mike's just having a nice little pause, and who can blame him after that first half? What he's witnessed at the moment, it's not looking good for Arsenal, and and it was, of course, I think we were also hinting at the fact that there's a possibility that Arteta may well bring on Aubameyang. There's no Lacazette in the side, incidentally, and of course no Ben White due to self-isolation for COVID-19 at the moment as well. But no such problems with Chelsea. They've looked very good in a lot of ways, but quite a number of Arsenal players I noticed in the first half looked a bit leggy. Saka being certainly one of those players. But let me just tell you about the second goal. I mean, Arsenal were caught wide open here. This is the second goal. I'm just watching a replay of it now. Alonso gets the ball on the left-hand side here, darts past the man, and then just goes past the defender as if he's not existed. And look at Reece James, completely undetected by Kieran Tierney, who should have been quicker to him there. And a great right-footed finish into the back of the net. Bakary Saka, there was also an opportunity for a penalty when Saka appeared to be brought down by Reece James, but referee Paul Tierney, jolly on the spot. I think he was looking for that. I think Bakary Saka, I have to be honest. Lovely ball through the legs of Aspilicueta there by Nicola Pepe. He was a very mercurial sort of talent, but it really does look very bad. And of course, Tierney also was at fault for the first one as well, put away by Lukaku. But really, I think Arsenal, if they could just get Adams, Keown, Winterburn, Dixon, and Seaman back, and along with that attack, I think they would be a much better side. Yeah, Arsenal Fan TV will certainly not be a happy place at this moment in time. That is for sure. But one thing's for certain: if Arsenal can turn it around, it would be an unbelievable comeback of all sorts, and that would be brilliant. Let me just recap then the other results from yesterday. Liverpool 2, Burnley 0. That was a result. Not a good day for Burnley. Jota and Mane, the goal scorers there, as the cop incidentally paid tribute to the 97th victim of the Hillsborough disaster, who sadly died through his injuries 30 years ago during the summer. And our thoughts and best wishes go out to that victim's family as well. Hillsborough was an absolute travesty, and I still believe that the families hopefully will get justice for what happened, because they were. Let's have no doubt about it. They were killed unlawfully, and I hope the families of the 97 now get the justice that they deserve, and they don't give in and get the justice their fight so desperately deserves. But Liverpool, the winners yesterday. Manchester City, no such problems for them. 5-0 winners. Jack Grealish scoring on his own debut yesterday. Boy, I think he does look worth that £100 million now. A lot of people, we did question on the hub whether he would be worth that sort of money. But at the moment, he's proving that just at this moment in time, he's looking the goods. £100 million looks well spent, but no such problems for Manchester City. And they won 5-0 against a very sorry-looking Norwich at the moment. Everton and Leeds played out a cracking 2-2 draw at Ellen Road yesterday. And I think Leeds off the mark with their first points of the season. Good result for Leeds. They played Burnley a week today, incidentally, at Turf Moor. And then, of course, we saw a very good result for Aston Villa. 2-0 winners over Newcastle. If you haven't seen the Danny Ings goal, believe me, it's worth watching. If you put the Sky Sports Football YouTube channel on, you'll see highlights of it, and it's an absolute perler into the back of the net. Newcastle, they've lost 2 out of their first 2. Brighton beat Watford 2-0 as well. They're looking in very good form at the moment. Brighton, 2 wins out of 2. They're lucky to come away with Turf Moor with 3 points last week. No such luck this week. They were just too good for Watford. Mopai now 2 goals in 2 games for Neil Mopai. He's looking better this season than he did last season. Maybe it took him a season or 2 to bed into the Graham Potter way of thinking, but this season he's looked an absolute player transformed. So 2-2 for Brighton at the moment, looking very, very good at this moment in time. And the other game yesterday was a London derby at Selhurst Park. A good match, if you've seen it, if you saw it on Match of the Day last night. But unfortunately, it ended goalless between Brentford and Crystal Palace. Palace get their first point of the season. Brentford now move on to 4 points. And that's not a bad start from 2 games, which they probably would have been. They'd probably tried to take 2 or 3 points from. But 4 points is probably more than Thomas Frank would have hoped for. But right now, Brentford certainly on the march at the moment and have made a steady start to the season. Right, just 2 more things to tell you about before we hand back to Mikey. Time for the second half. We're just wondering if Aubameyang might come on for the second half. First of all, when we're finished here on the Commentary Hub and JB Sports a little bit later on, at 6:30 on Trevor Sports YouTube channel, it's virtual cricket. We've got We've got a virtual 100-ball international, 100 balls per innings. England against India from Trent Bridge. So join myself and Trevor as we reprise our commentating roles as Trevor Benno and Trevory Boycott. Yes, you heard it. Trevory Boycott. Work out which one's which. We're live at the premiere for that will be at 6:30 on Trevor Sports YouTube channel. So join myself and Trevor for that if you can. And then tomorrow night, back to the real world. Monday Night Football live from the London Stadium. Alternative commentary from the London Stadium. We've got West Ham United, who made a cracking start a week ago by coming from 2-0 down to beat Newcastle United 4-2. And against Newcastle, and they play, and West Ham, in fact, play Leicester City, who when we last featured them, won the Community Shield by a penalty scored by Kenichi Iheanacho. And of course, they won last week, 1-0 against Wolves. Jamie Vardy off the mark there. Leicester will be hoping to be one of 5 teams by the end of it. So will West Ham, they hope, to have maximum points. So join Russ Burnin, if you can, at 7:50 for an 8 o'clock kickoff. And Liam Busby, I think, will be your match commentator. I think I've got his pronunciation right. I said Busby, didn't I? It's Liam Busby who's going to be your big match commentator for that one. So we're all poised. We're all almost set for the second half. Of course, Mike will have to choose a man in the match. And of course, let me just remind you of our sponsors this season. The man in the match sponsor is, of course, in association with Commentary Services. Barry Swain's brilliant company that does all the work, that does all the online commentary workshops these days. A great initiative set up by Barry Swain and Carl Bates a few years ago, and still going strong now into its 8th year now, I think. I've certainly been privileged to be on those, be on 2 or 3 courses with them, and they're always a privilege. So they're sponsoring the Man of the Match award for the season. Mike will choose that later on and explain his reasons as to why. And of course, our streaming partner for the season is a nice little app called Melon. I don't know what the Melon app is. I'm sure Mike and the rest of them will remind you, but apparently it's a very good app, and it's something worth certainly downloading. I'm sure Mike and the rest of the gang will sell it for you, but I don't know what Melon is. I'm strictly a YouTuber. I'm strictly a TikTok man. I'm strictly Facebook. I'm strictly Twitter. You know, never heard of Melon until we started being our streaming partner. But Melon is our streaming partner, and you're hearing this match, of course, on the Commentary Hub itself. JB Sports, J.That Football, Storm FM's YouTube channel, Mike's own channel, of course, and he'll be on Storm FM a little bit later on DJing. So he's got a busy night. And of course, we're on Commentary Hub too. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch as well. So we're all set almost for the second half then at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Can Arsenal fight back into the second half? Goals from Lukaku and Reece James are the difference. Can Arsenal come back with the most mother of all comebacks? And so we hand back to Mike for the second half. Can Arsenal do it, Mike? All yours.
Thank you, JB. Let's see whether Arsenal can do it. There has been no alterations at the break. So that does mean that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is not going to be lining up for the start of the second half. I'm sure he will get on at some stage if things don't improve for Mikel Arteta's men, as Chelsea get us underway right now in their blue and sorry, all blue, I should say. In fact, going from left to right in this second half, and Arsenal, in their home kit of the red, white, and then the white and red socks as well, from right to left. And it's Chelsea in possession early on. I will run you through those two lineups as well. It doesn't look like any changes for Chelsea either, so I will run you through. So we've got the Chelsea lineup first of all, with Mendy in goal, Azpilicueta, Christensen, and Rudiger. In fact, Reece James is in possession right now. Stay with me and I'll go through these lineups shortly once more. Reece James now on to Azpilicueta. Back to Reece James. Been impressed with him so far. Here's Romelu Lukaku on to Jorginho. Now it's with Kai Havertz, sorry. Now Kovacic to Alonso. Alonso to Rudiger. Now it's Christensen. Now it's Azpilicueta. Now Christensen. So the Chelsea lineup, Mendy, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, James, Jorginho, Kovacic, Alonso, Mount, Havertz, and Lukaku. The Arsenal lineup is Leno, Cedric, Holding, Marie, Tierney, Lokonga, Xhaka, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Pepe. Chelsea in possession now with Azpilicueta. Here's Lukaku on to Kai Havertz. Goes down, but the referee says no free kick. There's your official Paul Tierney. And it's now with Azpilicueta now. Here's Lukaku, scorer of Chelsea's first. Couldn't quite get that one out of his feet, though, and it's gone behind for, looks like a Chelsea throw-in here. Of course, Kieran Tierney has been a little bit shaky for Arsenal in that first half. I do probably have to say he was at fault for both of the goals, which is quite unusual for the Scots left back or left full back. Here's Mendy now to Rudiger. Back to Mendy once more. Here's Rudiger again. Now it is Kai Havertz. The two Germans combining, and it's gone behind there for a throw-in now to Chelsea. Come off the Arsenal man last. 47 minutes played, just at the start of the second half. Still Chelsea in control by 2-0. And free kick there as Pepe caught Jorginho. We'll have to wait and see whether Aubameyang gets half an hour or whether it will be a lot sooner that he gets to enter the fray, the Gabon international. Of course, Arsenal captain as well, as Chelsea are in possession at the moment with Christensen. It brings it out of defence. That's the Dane, and now it's Alonso. Now, that's Kovacic, I think that is. Now Havertz, and gone through to Rob Holding here for Arsenal. Now on to Cedric Suarez and back to Holding again. And he wins the throw-in off of Kai Havertz. Big second half here for Mikel Arteta and for Arsenal. Also very big for Thomas Tuchel's men as well. And his side are in very good form since he took over back the end of January. They actually have played 32 games, won 20, drawn 7, and only lost 5, 2 of those being against the Gunners last year. Here's Lukaku now. Good block there by Pablo Marie, and up it goes into the air for Kai Havertz. Now it's Alonso. Now here's Kai Havertz again. Is it Mount this time? No, it was Kai Havertz. I was right the first time. Now it's Kieran Tierney for Arsenal. What can he do here? He's going to try and run to keep it in up against Christensen, who clears it back to Mendy, who luckily takes a touch there and gets away with it. Here's Azpilicueta now back to Mendy. Goes long, does the Chelsea goalkeeper now onto the head of Marie, though. Here's Kieran Tierney now. Now it's a touch. Here's Smith Rowe from Martinelli, but Smith Rowe has been flagged offside there by the official, the assistant referee there. It did look very much like he was offside as well. The linesman got that one right. Here's Christensen now to Mendy for Chelsea. He clears that one to Lukaku. Here's Pablo Merida, does well to win that and wins it fairly as well on a yellow, remember. Here's Xhaka now holding. Now given away though. Now it's with Kovacic. Well, one back by Arsenal, and as Smith Rowe goes down there against Jorginho, but the referee, Paul Tierney, says no foul. And Chelsea looks to counter on Arsenal now and try to get this third goal. But Arsenal defend very well there. It's Bernd Leno to Pablo Mari. Of course, the two Arsenal centre-backs have both got to be careful. Pablo Mari and Rob Holding both on yellows, because Ben White, for any Arsenal fan tuning in that's wondering where he is and why he's not involved, it's because he's got COVID-19 and, of course, he's in isolation at the moment. The £50 million man. Good cross there by Smith Rowe, but headed behind by Antonio Rudiger. And the Arsenal fans are trying to rally their troops. But let's see whether anything can come of that and whether they're able to be that 12th man in terms of hoping Arsenal giving them a way back into this game, I should say. Here's Lokonga now. Pablo Mariz down in the box. Referee says nothing given though. Saka's effort, great save by Mendy. That it gets up really, really well to parry that one over the top of the goal. Bukayo Saka around about 25 yards out, maybe 20, takes a deflection off of Alonso, and Mendy has to get a strong hand on that one to parry it over the top. That's a good start for Arsenal to start of the second half though, and they've needed it as well, have Mikel Arteta's men. Corner to be taken by Nicola Pepe now. Whips it in for Rob Holding, and Romelu Lukaku gets it clear, but only as far as Tierney. Now it's Bukayo Saka up against Azpilicueta. What can Bukayo Saka do here? Mason Mount's back to help his defence out as well. And it's gone behind. And good defending there from Azpilicueta. It's won the goal kick for his side as well. Has the Spaniard. Good defending from him, and also a mixture of Mason Mount helping him out as well. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2 so far. 53 minutes almost played in this game. Romelu Lukaku and Reece James, the Chelsea goal scorers. Romelu Lukaku after 15 minutes, and that was doubled by Reece James. He was heavily involved in the first goal as well, getting an assist for that one. Now it's Chelsea in possession. Here's Rudiger. Because Chelsea, as JB mentioned at the half-time interval, are currently sitting top of the division alongside Liverpool, Brighton and Tottenham on maximum points from 2 games. Arsenal are sitting second bottom with the only side sort of stopping Arsenal from being bottom, Norwich City, at this moment in time. Of course, Manchester City, 5-0 winners yesterday, are Arsenal's next league opponents after going to West Brom on Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. Liverpool next for Chelsea in Premier League action next week, and that'll be a battle of two sides who have both won that opening two. There's a chance here for Alonso to try and get it clear now, and Chelsea win the throw. Of course, Liverpool beat JB's very own Burnley 2-0 yesterday and were victorious in their opening game as well, which was against, of course, Norwich City by 3-0. It looks like Chelsea are in the same boat at the moment as well. 3-0 winners last week and 2-0 up as things stand at the Emirates with 35 to go. Here's a chance now for Chelsea to Lukaku. Turns, tries to get a shot away, and Cedric deflects that one for a corner. Been quite a frantic start to the second half, and The first half was full of chances and possession for Chelsea as well. So I will just take a quick swig of my drink whilst this corner is going to be getting ready to be taken. As there's a Chelsea fan there saying, "Get well soon, Jonesy," as well. Not too sure who Jonesy is, but of course we do echo those sentiments as well. And it's a chance here for Chelsea now. Kai Havertz. And here's Jorginho now. Gets it back from Havertz. Havertz back to... It's given away, sorry, to Cedric. Now Smith Rowe. Now Alonso. And now it's with Christensen. And now Kovacic. Rudiger. On to Rudiger again. Gets it back. And goes across to Azpilicueta now. On to Reece James. Back to Azpilicueta. Now Jorginho. Looking for Lukaku, but Pablo Mari's able just to see it through to Bernd Leno. Of course, he's got a bit more competition, does Bernd Leno as well, on the back of Aaron Ramsdale completing his deal just a couple of days ago, Friday, I believe it was, and he is amongst the Arsenal bench today. So I wonder whether he'll get his first moments for the Gunners against West Brom. Of course, Sheffield United played West Brom in championship action just the other day. And how weird and, unusual and quite strange, in fact, would that be, that Aaron Ramsdale makes his Gunners debut against the side he could have actually been lining up against in championship action last week. Here's Mason Mount now for Chelsea, and that's dragged wide of the goal there. Chelsea looking bright, though, at the start of the second half. Of course, West Brom very dominant in that game against Sheffield United as well. I think it was about 4-0, I think, if I believe the score to be correct, to the home side on that one. Here's Lukonga now for Arsenal. Wonder whether it be a Aubameyang time in about 2 or 3 minutes, coming up to the hour mark, I should say. Might even well be a minute or two before that, as Gabriel Martinelli's now down. Arsenal certainly have to look at getting somebody on. Of course, Flo Balogun, also another striking option, but not on the same pedigree as Aubameyang. Not yet, anyway. The Arsenal young striker. Or the young Arsenal striker, sorry, let me correct myself. Here's Jorginho now from... Given away, to Marie. Now Lukonga. Here's Smith Rowe for Arsenal. Now Cedric Suarez. What can Cedric do here, the right fullback? Here's Smith Rowe again. Cedric gives it him back. Now it's back with Rob Holding. On to Pablo Marie. On to Bukayo Saka. Back to Pablo Marie again. It's forced all the way back to Bernd Leno, though. And now on to Granit Xhaka. And back to Leno once more. Tries to go long here, looking for Martinelli. Good long ball here by the German goalkeeper, and it's headed behind for a corner by the Dane Andreas Christensen. It's Route 1 football from Arsenal, and maybe that might be their best bet to get back into this game. You never know what can work and what may work. Arsenal, of course, known for the possession football and the passing style, but sometimes you kind of do have to go route 1, and if it goes in your favour and does pay off, then then it's certainly worth it in the end. Aubameyang getting himself ready. Here's Pepe with a corner though beforehand. Chance here, headed by Rob Holding, and it's wide by the England centre back. Rob Holding got on the end of that one after a knockback by. I think it might have been Granit Xhaka originally. In fact, it was Pablo Marie. In fact, it was the two centre-backs combining, and Rob Holding could have directed that one into the back of the net. Just inches wide there of Mendy's goal. And Arsenal close, but no cigar as of yet. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, though, is getting himself ready and will be entering the fray for the Gunners in the next minute or so when the ball is next out of play. It's a chance here for Chelsea on the counter, though. Here's Lokonga for Arsenal. Suarez now holding Lokonga. Is he caught by Havertz? The referee says yes, he was. Havertz trying to waste some time, though, and Cedric Suarez and Rob Holding taking exception to that. Rob Holding shoving him a little bit. Of course, he's got to be careful. Rob Holding already on a yellow as well from the first half for that challenge on Alonso. But Havertz is the man that the referee wants to speak to here. And just a talking to, no card for the Chelsea man. And it's going to be Bukayo Saka to make way for the returning Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang for Arsenal. The Gabon man, the Arsenal skipper, returning from COVID-19. And it means, of course, probably a change in who's going to be through the middle. I'm sure that means Aubameyang will be going through the middle now. And probably Pepe and Martinelli will be playing off of him alongside Smith Rowe. But the captain gets his armband from Granit Xhaka as well. And he's got half an hour, a big half an hour, to try and change this in favour of the Gunners. It's Aubameyang. Was he fouled there straight away into the action? The referee says no, he wasn't. And Chelsea have possession now, and shoved down there was Kovacic by Granit Xhaka. Actually looks like for a moment that Martinelli and Aubameyang might be in a front two together, which is something that Arsenal fans do want to see, but more so with Alex Lacazette and Aubameyang rather than Martinelli and Aubameyang. But Lacazette, of course, unavailable still due to COVID, and hopefully back probably next week for the Manchester City game, if not on Wednesday for West Brom. So throw in here for Chelsea now. And it's back to Rudiger. What can Rudiger do? He's going to play it into Lukaku. Well defended there by Rob Holding. Now Granit Xhaka from Smith Rowe. Xhaka to Martinelli. Put the burners on, has Martinelli now as well. Trying to find Aubameyang, and that's a poor ball. But Aubameyang gets it though anyway, and he gets the shot away. And it's straight at Edouard Mendy. That's the first sighter for the Gabon man since entering the fray just a moment or two ago. It's better from Arsenal as well. Good play from Martinelli. Gets it back to off of Jorginho, and then it goes through off of Jorginho in the end to Aubameyang. And Aubameyang gets the shot away. But Mendy was more than capable of dealing with that one. And Chelsea still have their 2-goal advantage. And it's them in possession now as well. Kai Havertz. Here's Mason Mount now. Got Reece James on the overlap. Doesn't need to use him though. Uses Romelu Lukaku instead. Good defending by Nicola Pepe back there, helping out his back line. Xhaka to Smith Rowe now. Smith Rowe for Arsenal. What can he do? He goes to Lokonga. Now it's Nicola Pepe. Now it's Kieran Tierney for Arsenal. Takes a touch and tries to find Xhaka, but Jorginho intercepts, gets it back from Reece James as well. 63 minutes played, Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. And it's the Blues in possession yet again with Romelu Lukaku scoring with their first. Giving it to Mason Mount, and now on to Reece James, the goal scorer for Chelsea second. And they're more than happy just to sit there at the moment and try and break Arsenal down. Xhaka onto the Congo though. Here's Aubameyang, is on the afterburners, but good defending there from Mendy, who smashes it long, and it goes through to his opposite number, Mendy, from Bernd Leno. From Mendy, I should say. And it's Kieran Tierney down at the moment for Arsenal as well. It's almost a great, perfect ball there. But Aubameyang couldn't quite get on the end of that one. It was Albert Lokonga there, trying to find him, and Mendy slides down and clears it long through to Leno. And Kieran Tierney getting some treatment at the moment, the Scotsman. Arsenal's left fullback, been at fault probably for at least one of the goals today. And Arsenal looking at Nuno Tavares, so it probably could be the end of Kieran Tierney. And maybe the end of his afternoon, I should say, anyway. It was early evening. as Nuno Tavares is stripped and ready to go. 25 to go. Still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Romelu Lukaku scoring for the Blues after 15 minutes. And that was doubled by Reece James. What can Nuno Tavares do? Can he have an impact and a say in this game? Kieran Tierney there. He's been helped off by the medical team. He's walking off, but quite gingerly. He's trying to run on it, but I think Mikel Arteta probably doesn't want to take any chances. I wonder if it will be a straight swap. And indeed, it is as well. The new signing for Arsenal, the number 20, comes on at left fullback. He came on last week, in fact, at right fullback as well, just to use a little bit of versatility there. But he's much preferred on the left-hand side, which is where he'll play these 25 or so minutes of this game today, in place of the Scotsman Kieran Tierney. Here's Mendy now for Chelsea. On to Azpilicueta. Now Reece James plays it down the line, looking for Lukaku. Good touch there by Lukaku. Up against Lokonga, the two Belgians. And it's a Chelsea free kick and another yellow card for Arsenal. Sambi Lokonga this time, the latest man in the book. Arsenal very much struggling to cope with Romelu Lukaku here this afternoon. And Sambi Lokonga kind of proving that point by just pulling him down and shoving him to the floor there as well and getting himself in the book. Arsenal making 2 subs already. Chelsea still yet to go to their subs bench. They might not need to if they're 2-0 up though, but potentially there might be a chance for a third here now as well. Albert Lokonga in the book on that for that foul, and it's free kick here to be taken by Alonso. In fact, he's going to leave it for Mason Mount. As you know, it's Alonso whips it in, looking for Rudiger, and on to Kovacic, I think, in the end, who couldn't quite direct that one on target. Kind of just gets that one all wrong. Miscues that away and out of danger, away from danger and out of play, for an Arsenal goal kick. Here's Lokonga now. Gives it to Martinelli. Lokonga again. Looking for Aubameyang. Couldn't quite direct it to Martinelli, though. Here's Mendy for Chelsea. Now Rudiger. Out to Alonso. Up against Cedric Suarez and behind for a Chelsea throw. Because I was saying before, in regards to Thomas Tuchel's record, he's got a very good record as the Chelsea manager. Mikel Arteta's record at Arsenal. From 45 games, he's drawn 18. Sorry, won 45 games, drawn 18 and lost 24. With a win record of 51.72% from 87 games, for the Gunners manager since joining from Man City. And it's Nicola Pepe now. On to Smith, Cedric to Smith Rowe was that. There's an offside flag here now. Smith Rowe went down in the area, but no, nothing given, nothing doing there. As we're coming up to 20 minutes or so of remaining of this game. Still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Goals from Romelu Lukaku and Reece James, who has been phenomenal for the Blues so far this afternoon. And potentially in the reckoning for man of the match, the Chelsea right fullback, even now with 20 minutes still to go. It's a Chelsea ball here. Here's Rudiger now. Here's Reece James again in possession. Of course, had a very good Champions League final against Man City as well when the Blues were victorious last season. Here's Lukaku now to Havertz. Here's Alonso. Marcus Alonso to Reece James. Reece James' effort has gone over the top of Bernd Leno's goal. Is that taking a deflection though? It has indeed. It's gone behind for a Chelsea corner here. Reece James fancied his chances for a second there. Still looking to add to that tally as Reece James has already got one today and he's got an assist as well. It's a corner here for Chelsea now. It's going to be whipped in. And it's headed clear there, is it? But only as far as Reece James there. And shot at goal by Kovacic. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. At least I think it's a goal kick. Maybe it's gone behind for a throw. Let's have a look here. I think I'm right with a goal kick. Let's see. I think it is a goal kick. And it's Chelsea substitution time. And they're going to be delighted. Any Blues fans tuning in now. N'Golo Kante is going to be entering the fray for your side. He'll be on in the next moment or two. The French defensive midfielder, Colossus as well that he is. Former Leicester City man. I wonder who it would be coming off, whether it be Kovacic or Jorginho. It's going to be Kovacic making way for N'Golo Kante. Had a very good game, Kovacic, actually, as well, in Chelsea's midfield. Both him and Jorginho very much dominating Sambi Lokonga and Granit Xhaka. And he's going to make way with around about 19 minutes to go. And Chelsea fans are going to be delighted to see this man coming back on N'Golo Kante for the remainder of this match. The first sub for the Blues as well. Thomas Tuchel's first time to the bench in this game. And it's a foul there by Tavares. It does look like there's a nasty collision here. The physios are rushed straight on. I think it's Reece James that they're going to be dealing with here now. The physios are straight over to him. There's quite a few players from both sides that have gone over and are looking at Reece James here, as well as the physio, just to check on him and to make sure that he's all right. I'm not really sure what happened there, to be completely honest with you. But we will have to have a look at that one on the replay to see what that was about. But there's a couple of Chelsea backroom staff there looking a bit worried about their fullback. I wonder what this is going to be about. We'll have to wait and see. But N'Golo Kante has just come on for the Blues just a moment ago for Kovacic. And that's the first of their subs. Everybody's been ushered away now as Reece James is getting treated. I wonder if it's something wrong with something wrong with his head there. We've got a whack to the face. Does look like he may well have done. Just checking him over for any potential concussions, etc. It does seem okay though at this present moment in time, and it does look like he will be up to his feet and he will be continuing, which is great to see. As he gets the touch on the back there from Lukaku, and also there's an Arsenal man. I think it's Sambi Lokonga that was the man involved as well, just checking on him there to make sure that he's okay. And he is hobbling off, but he will be back on in a moment, I believe. He looks okay to continue. Walked off a little bit gingerly, but after getting whacked in the face, I'm sure anybody would. Here's Nicola Pepe now for Arsenal, and it's cleared by Chelsea's back line, but only as far as Cedric Suarez. And here is Lokonga now, looking for Aubameyang. Heads it on, and it's Mendy dives on that one, and it's comfortable for the Chelsea goalkeeper. There was a few Arsenal men there. Rob Holding couldn't quite get on the end of it. Neither could Gabriel Martinelli either. Nicola Pepe was also coming in round the back. 74 played. Still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Chelsea on course for their first victory at the Emirates since 2019. And that 2-1 victory that day. Of course, Chelsea did win just a few weeks ago, though, in the Mind series. With controversy in that game, with Joe Willock scoring a goal that was not given as well. It did look like the ball across the line there from the man that has since moved on to Newcastle, but the referee and the officials not using VAR because it was only a friendly. And Arsenal fans sort of rued that a little bit. But here is Mason Mount now for Chelsea, and he wins the corner off of Nuno Tavares. Fifteen to play. Granit Xhaka scored Arsenal's goal in that game in the Mine series. And I'll get you the Chelsea goal scorers in just a matter of seconds. As this corner is about to come in, it was actually Kai Havertz and Tammy Abraham who liked scoring against the Arsenal, and then he's now moved on to join up at Roma with Mr. Mourinho. Here's Jorginho now to Christensen. Here's Kante to Christensen now. Back to N'Golo Kante again, the French midfielder. On to Rudiger now. Tries to find Lukaku, but it's good defending there from Bernd Leno. Does well to get on the end of that one and to keep hold of that one as well. Of course, Arsenal still got one more sub that they could use, and there's no sign of that as of yet. Chelsea can still make two, and that could include potentially maybe even Hakim Ziyech, who's on the bench. But as of yet, no signs of that one either. Hudson-Odoi also on the bench for Thomas Tuchel's men. Here's Romelu Lukaku now. Trying to find Reece James. Back to Mason Mount now. To Lukaku, and that's off the bar. Did that get a hand there from Bernd Leno? That was a great chance there from Chelsea. They are looking there just to see whether Leno got a hand on that one. It was a great ball in. Lukaku got a head on that, and that was an exceptional save that from Bernd Leno. He gets a hand on it, parries it onto the bar. That is what Bernd Leno can do for Arsenal. That is a sensational save from the German goalkeeper. Almost game, set and match for Chelsea. There's a corner ball though. 13 to play. Still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Romelu Lukaku looking to the heavens, clapping the fans as well and patting the badge to his Chelsea counterparts there. Or the Chelsea fans behind the goal. He's applauding them again. He's not making way. He just fancies interacting with the fans there, does Lukaku, who are all loving him and his performance. It's very nearly a second goal for him just a moment ago as well. Great save from Bernd Leno. That would have nestled into the back of the net if that was many other goalkeepers in the division. I was just checking to see whether it had crossed the line, I believe, as well. And Lukaku looks up at the big screen and then shakes his head and looks away a little bit frustrated there because that was very, very near to another goal for Chelsea. How's your luck, Lukaku? Could have had two on the game so far today, but Leno fantastically able to deal with that one. And Martinelli is down for Arsenal and he's going to have to come off at the edge of the pitch here as well. He's going to be replaced, is he, by Balogun? Let's have a look here. Balogun has come on. I think it is for Martinelli. It is indeed. Flo Balogun is on. Folarin Balogun for Arsenal. There's a chance here for Chelsea. Reece James now. Good block there from Arsenal. Now Pepe, what can he do here? Now Balogun tries to clear it long, but only as far as Jorginho. It's out of play there for an Arsenal throw-in. Still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. And Gabriel Martinelli getting treated off the pitch here, but he has just made way for the young Arsenal striker. And here is Nuno Tavares now. What can he do? He's going to try and whip this cross in, but well defended there by Azpilicueta. I think that was. It was the Chelsea Spanish defender. Aspilicueta shoving Balogun there. He's kind of got his arms all over him. But here's Nuno Tavares for Arsenal now. Given to Jorginho. Of course, real battle here in midfield at this moment in time. Here's Smith Rowe now. Trying to find Balogun, but well defended by N'Golo Kante. Trying to go long here to Lukaku now. The Gunners could actually lose their opening 2 Premier League matches for only the 3rd time. I think that's ever in the Premier League, actually, as well. If the scoreline stays in Chelsea's favour today. And Arsenal's 9 defeats last season were the worst in all competitions since 1929, 1930 at their home ground as well, which is a big, ask for Arsenal to get anything out of this game. And that's already going to be 1 home defeat. And, of course, there's still plenty more good sides to come to the Emirates this season, including Man City and Liverpool, Manchester United, Tottenham, Leicester, etc. as well. And, of course, there was a few surprise results last season as well. So I'm sure Arsenal fans will be very aware of that. Some sides went to the Emirates and you wouldn't expect them to go there and win, and did. And I will mention that one of those was JB's Burnley as well. And I'm sure he'll be delighted to hear that. I think they actually did the double over the Gunners last year, I believe. Here's Mendy now. Going to go long to Reece James, and he's going to give that one away, is he, to Xhaka. And Xhaka caught Reece James there. And Reece James is going to get a free kick here. So Arsenal have actually lost their opening league fixture in 5 of the past 10 seasons. This looks like being 6 from 11 as well now, as Mason Mount makes way for the Blues to be replaced by Hakim Ziyech. Chelsea's number 22. There's a chance for Chelsea to play around at the back now. Here's Jorginho. Goes back to Mendy. Coming up to the 83rd minute of this game. That's for the crowd. Couldn't keep that one in there. Behind for an Arsenal throw. Chelsea still 2 to the good. Here's Tavares. Wins a corner off of Reece James as the Arsenal Portuguese fullback as well. Coming up to 83 on the clock. And what I will say as well is the Gunners' defeat to Brentford last season meant that they've lost the amount of Premier League London derbies from last season. In fact, that be added to now as well with this defeat as things stand at the moment, unless Arsenal can get back into this one. Still time, of course. Here's Pepe with a corner. Good punch there. Strong hand by Edouard Mendy onto Hakim Ziyech. Trying to find N'Golo Kante, but put behind. So give it away. Here's Smith Rowe now for Arsenal. Has been Arsenal's bright spark today. Here's Smith Rowe still trying to make things happen. Here's Nicola Pepe now. Of course, Smith Rowe tried to make things happen for Arsenal last week against Brentford as well, without any luck. But he's very much looking to make things happen again this afternoon, and has been a bright spark again in a poor Arsenal performance. Tavares onto Balogun, but given away there. And here is Ziyech trying to find Lukaku, but it's out of play for a Chelsea throw. In fact, that the referee did look like it was going to be an Arsenal throw there, but the referee gave it in favour of Chelsea, off of Pablo Maria, I think it was. Mikel Arteta and a few of the Arsenal backroom staff looking unhappy with that, in fact. Of course, tomorrow on the channel, we'll have Liam Brusby in charge of the game between West Ham and Leicester. Going to be bringing alternative coverage of that with Russ Vernon in the presenting hot seat. So do come and join Liam and Russ from round about 10 to 8 for an 8 p.m. kickoff. Here's Ziyech now for Chelsea. Tries to find, and that was Alonso. But here's Kante now, looking for Ziyech. And Ziyech deflected off of holding on. Oh, sorry, Xhaka that was, so let me say. Chelsea in possession now. Jorginho to Azpilicueta. Gets it back as well, just the Italian. Now it's with the Spaniard again. Back to the blonde-haired Jorginho. Bleach blonde. Now it's with Christensen. Just playing 1-2 there between him and Jorginho. And now back to Mendy. 5 minutes remaining. Still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Romelu Lukaku on the score sheet early on. And then his goal doubled by the brilliant Reece James. And Chelsea been in control really since that. Arsenal had 1 or 2 chances, but not really enough to trouble Edouard Mendy in the Chelsea goal too frequently. Here's Flo Balogun now, though. So, finished with a flurry, Arsenal, but not like that, giving the ball away. Reece James to Christensen, now to Alonso. Here's Kante. That's Ziyech. Lukaku up against Tavares. Romelu Lukaku. On to Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz has gone through the legs of Bernd Leno, but Bernd Leno in the end was able just to do enough and to stop that from going in the back of the net, and score remains still 2-0. Could have been worse for Arsenal there just a moment ago, though. And here is the Conga now. Here's Pepe. There's a poor ball. Rob Holding just about got away with that one there against Kai Havertz, and now it's with Smith Rowe, and now Xhaka. Trying to find Aubameyang. But in fact, Balogun, sorry. It's well defended by Christensen there. And in fact, it's Azpilicueta at that time. Now Jorginho. Back to Mendy. Of course, Chelsea have had a fantastic start to this season. And that looks like it's going to continue at the moment. Another clean sheet on the cards as well for the Blues, who have only lost their... They've only lost 3 of their last 20 opening Premier League away fixtures in the Premier League. And that looks like being 3 from 21 as well, which is an exceptional record for the side from West London. Here's Jorginho now. On to Ziyech. See whether Chelsea can put the icing on the cake now. Here's Hakim Ziyech. Deflected over the top there from Sambi Lokonga. And Chelsea have a corner. And of course, looking to add to this and get another goal here as well. Make it 3-0 potentially. Coming up to 88 minutes plays. And Mikel Arteta, if you look at the next 5 fixtures, as I mentioned earlier, Man City, Norwich, Burnley, Tottenham and Brighton in the Premier League. Because West Brom on Wednesday is a Carabao Cup fixture as well. And a big test for Mikel Arteta on his Arsenal side now. And he is looking down at the floor. He looks a bit lost actually here, Mikel Arteta, as Chelsea are ready and Timo Werner for the final couple of minutes. Probably be the end of Romelu Lukaku's evening, I think, here. Be surprised if it wasn't. Anyways, corner here now to Azpilicueta, and it's gone behind for another corner. It was Reece James that took it. He's going to take this one again in a moment as well. Came off Flo Balogun. And Reece James is going to take this one again. Romelu Lukaku looking hungry for another goal. Scored one, could have had another one as well, but for the hand of Bernd Leno. And Bernd Leno gets a hand on that one and poses it out for a throw-in as well. As the German goalkeeper, it is in fact Kai Havertz that's going to make way for Timo Werner. So 1 German on, 1 German off for Thomas Tuchel's men. Had a good game as Kai Havertz as well. It's been a real threat to the Arsenal back line this evening. As Timo Werner is going to get about a minute plus additional time here to see whether he can add to Chelsea's already quite comfortable scoreline in being 2-0 ahead. There's Reece James on it now, looking for Lukaku. On to Marcos Alonso. Looking for Lukaku. Lukaku gets up. And heads it on to Reece James. And Reece James tries to put it into the box, but Pablo Mari does well there. And Reece James gets it back. I'm going to Give it to Kante. Now Kante to Jorginho. Back to Reece James. I put up my man of the match for you now as well. It's been quite an easy choice, actually, in fact, for me today. And I've mentioned him throughout. I've mentioned him a couple of times as being a man that has done very well today. And I'm going to give it to a man that's got a goal and an assist, the Chelsea and England fullback, Reece James. Really, really good performance from him today. And, rightfully, in my opinion, deserves his man of the match award, sponsored by Commentary Services, for his contribution to what looks like being a Chelsea performance that is going to get them the 3 points. So well done to Reece. Gets man of the match from the Commentary Services team today. Romelu Lukaku got it from Sky on theirs, but we've gone Reece James on our side into 3 minutes additional time. I've had one of those already. Here's Aubameyang now for Arsenal. There's good defending there from Christensen. Now Mendy. Mendy's going to just fall on that one. Now he's going to bring it across the edge at the other side of his box, and then throw it to Azpilicueta. And now Christensen back to Cesar Azpilicueta again. Now Reece James gives it to Timo Werner, and Arsenal have it there through Marie and tries to get it to Balogun, but it's gone behind for a Chelsea throw-in. What I was going to say is Chelsea have actually kept 12 clean sheets under Thomas Tuchel, which is 3 more than any other club since he joins. And actually, it's going to be now 13 as well. So not unlucky 13 for Chelsea. It's going to be lucky 13 in terms of those clean sheets. And they're actually going to be equaling the top flight record as well after winning 5 consecutive London derbies away from home in their last 5 meetings. So good performance from Chelsea, and very much looks like this is going to be game, set and match now with just a minute of additional time still remaining, and more pressure on Mikel Arteta. Of course, Martin Odegaard signed just a few days ago, wasn't involved in this game due to not being given international clearance in time. So hopefully for his and Arsenal's sake, it won't be too long before he's seen in an Arsenal shirt again. But I'm sure Gunners fans and Mikel Arteta will come out after this one as well, and will probably say that his side needs to strengthen in the next few weeks, and really will be pushing yet again to add some more new signings before the window closes. Here's N'Golo Kante for Chelsea now. Good defending there by Nuno Tavares. We're about 15 seconds away from the end now. Here's Balogun given away to Christensen. And it's finished, almost finishing, in fact, now. It's going to be finishing in 2 seconds, in fact, with Chelsea getting a comfortable 2-0 win via Romelu Lukaku, returning to the Premier League with a bang, getting himself a goal, and also playing a big part for Chelsea in this one as well, as the final whistle has just gone now. And the blue side of London, the west side of London, beats North London in this one. Romelu Lukaku and Reece James, the goal scorers, as Chelsea victorious at the Emirates. Mikel Arteta has a busy, week and a half, 2 weeks to try and strengthen the rest of this Arsenal side and bring some more players into that squad. But Chelsea victorious, another London derby win for them. 2 London derby wins for them. 2 London derby defeats for Arsenal. Chelsea top of the table, and Arsenal sitting second bottom and in that relegation zone with a very difficult and tricky tie against Man City to come next weekend. Over to you, JB.
Thank you very much, Mike. Stay with us because we'll bring you in for your views on the Arsenal performance today. But I just want to say in between that, they do have a Carabao Cup tie against West Brom. And it's the first time in quite some time, I think 20 odd years, since they've actually had to start their League Cup campaign, Arsenal, in the second round of that competition. But it doesn't get any easier. Second bottom, as Mike said, and a trip against Manchester City to come is not the sort of thing you want right now. And the Arsenal fans, well, I'm watching the stream now. The whistle's just gone on my stream, and there's boos, there's disillusionment from the Arsenal fan base, but no disillusionment from Chelsea. They're top of the pile. Lukaku looked very good on his debut. Got the television man in the match award But I must agree with Mike on the man of the match. I think Reece James deserved it more. He worked hard. A goal and an assist. He really played really well there, the England international, and proving why he's been a regular fixture in the England side during the recent European Championships. Thomas Tuchel, certainly no pressure for him. 13 clean sheets. Can't be, since he took over, can't be that bad. Lucky 13, but it's not a lucky day for Mikel Arteta and for Arsenal. Beaten, and I have to say, beaten very comfortably by a Chelsea side that's really and utterly showed Arsenal absolutely no mercy whatsoever. And what now for Arsenal now? This great old club with great traditions, great history. And, well, there we go. Right, we've got about a couple of minutes to go of the programme, so we might as well bring Mike in now for the post-mortem. Mike, I have to say congratulations for doing a fantastic job under very difficult circumstances, because we all know you're an Arsenal fan. And I have to say, this is why you were voted in a poll. We had a little poll during the summer, during the tournament, who was the best commentator on the hub. And Mike, by some 20%, beat me in the poll in the final. But and it shows why he's such a good broadcaster. Mike, if I can bring you in just quickly, as an Arsenal fan, and I'll let you rip on this. Obviously, don't swear if you can help it. But I have to ask you the obvious question. From an Arsenal perspective, what went wrong?
Yeah, first of all, thanks very much for the compliment as well. Greatly appreciate that. I don't know. I think, there's so many injuries, so many players missing for Arsenal. Of course, Aubameyang only trained yesterday, so he was only given half an hour. But then by that point, the game was pretty much dead and buried anyway in Chelsea's favour. And they were dominant, really, Chelsea. They were the better side. I don't really know what I can say. I think Kieran Tierney was at fault for both goals in this game. And Arsenal, real problems at the moment in attack for Arsenal. And the sooner Alex Lacazette gets back, the better.
Absolutely. I mean, now there's got to be a lot of speculation about Mikel Arteta and, of course, his future and goodness knows what else. I mean, the Arsenal fans towards the end there, you noticed that watching the match. I mean, a lot of the fans had gone home with about 10 minutes to go. Are the fans now, from an Arsenal point of view, are getting a little bit fed up? He's had 18 months in the hot seat. I know he's won an FA Cup and a Community Shield, but they were nearly a year and a half ago. Is Arsenal too much of a beast for him? I know he was an ex-Arsenal player, but does he realise how difficult the job is? I mean, to replace Arsene Wenger and Unai Emery is a tough act, but has Arteta now had more than enough time to make his mark? And do you think he's not got anywhere near to making his mark as Arsenal manager? And how long do you, from your point of view, do you give Arteta before, obviously, he's, in your opinion, given the heave-ho?
I'd just get rid of him today. I'd say that's it. That's done. Yeah. I think, yes, you have to look at Chelsea being a fantastic side that they are, but this is bigger problems. Of course, Brentford last week just up from the Championship.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Other results last season. I mentioned it that Burnley done the double over us last season. Of course, I'm sure you're delighted to, the fact I mentioned that in the commentary.
I've got to be. Can I just be honest with you on that one? I do think we fluked. I do think we fluked the result at the Emirates. I do think we fluked it a little bit last season. In fact, actually, to be fair, we took 4 points off you. We didn't do the double.
Oh, sorry.
We got a 1-1 draw in the return. Yes.
Okay. Either way, still like 4 points from Burnley. Of course, Burnley winning at the Emirates. As no disrespect to you as a Burnley fan, or to any Burnley fan that's listening, but Arsenal should be putting 2 or 3 or 4 past Burnley and winning that one quite convincingly. Really, if they're on the sort of A game and top of the performance charts. But I do think that it can't be too much longer for Mikel Arteta. If it's not today, maybe a couple of days time, maybe give him to the end of this window. And I think, when you look at what he's tried to do, he's obviously brought in Ben White, unavailable today because of COVID-19.
COVID-19, yes.
And then obviously Nuno Tavares come in, Albert Lokonga come in, Aaron Ramsdale's come in, Martin Odegaard's come in as well. So they're trying to make things happen in the transfer market. But I do believe that it's probably a little bit too late. I think Mikel Arteta knows the magnitude of the job now. I think he is a little bit... worried. I think he's actually kind of panicking really in regards to some of these signings, and Some of them are he's just chucking money at it. The Cronkies have surprisingly backed him in terms of giving him some money to spend, but I don't know if he's really spending them on the right players. A lot of them are young lads. Nuno Tavares only a young player. Albert Lukonga's only a young player. Martin Odegaard's only young. Aaron Ramsdale's only in his mid to sort of early 20s. So they're all young boys really that he's bringing in. No real experienced players that know the league or know how to get the job done and to kind of improve Arsenal. But what I will say is, credit to Chelsea. Really, really good performance from them today. But it's a massive uphill task for Mikel Arteta and for Arsenal right now. And you can see that come the end of the game in his body language as well. He was sort of a bit lost for words. He was just staring at the ground thinking, what now? What can I do?
Yeah, his body language seemed to be of that ilk. I've just if Russ is, are you on, Russ? We'll hear from you for the last couple of minutes of the programme. I know Russ is texted in. Are you there, Russ?
I am, JB. How you doing, mate? Are you okay?
I'm very well, thank you. Well, we've got about 2 or 3 minutes left because obviously we're going to be joining Trevor. Well, I'm going to be going over to Trevor's channel to do some commentary on Trevor Match Special, which is a virtual 100 match between England and India, which I'll promote at the end. What about Chelsea today, Russ? We've had the Arsenal viewpoint and what Mike's had to say, but what about Chelsea? I mean, 6 points out of a possible 6, 5 goals, none conceded. Lukaku looked absolutely superb. I think Reece James deserved man of the match. Good, but I think you can't get much more of a better start than that, can you, Russ?
No, you can't, JB. And Chelsea have performed really, really well today. Lukaku, he looked a big, strong lad up top and put pressure on Arsenal. I was surprised that Arsenal didn't take off either Alden or Morix. I felt if one of those two had gone in again on Lukaku, they could have possibly have seen red as well. I think Chelsea deserve the win. There was no question about that. And Mike, I know you can hear me as well, my friend. And I think Arsenal under Arteta I don't think he even got a plan A anymore, man. I don't think he knows what he's doing, and I think anyone who comes up against Arsenal, and I think if Valerian Ismail was watching that today, who is in charge of West Brom, who Arsenal have got next in midweek in the League Cup, I think he'll be looking at that, licking his lips, thinking we've got a real chance here of making the next round.
That's a good
way Arsenal played.
That's a good point because we all watched the West Brom game, didn't we? And we saw how good West Brom were against Sheffield United. And I did the commentary, and you two were there in a presenting capacity. And they're not going to be any pushovers. And let's face it, I mean, yesterday they had a great result against Blackburn Rovers as well. So it's not going to be a pushover. But well, Mike, can you see it? Arsenal going to West Brom and getting a result in the Cup? I mean, you need a win to get your season going.
Yeah, we definitely need a win. And I think that's going to probably mean that Mikel Arteta is going to go a lot stronger with a lineup than he would have done otherwise because he has to. I think that there'll be a lot of players that have, not played too many minutes in this game, but come on, like, Aubameyang will probably feature quite heavily. Maybe Lacazette if he's around the squad by then. And whether he's available, Odegaard potentially if he's back and around things as well. So I do think it's going to have to be quite a strong lineup for Arsenal. But yeah, as you rightly mentioned, West Brom, really, really dominant in the Championship so far. They put on some really good performances, got some very, very good results. And as I mentioned, it'd be interesting to see whether Aaron Ramsdale plays against West Brom, because actually it was that game for Sheffield United that he was left out, which kind of marked, a lot of the speculation in regarding this move to Arsenal. And of course, that day West Brom were victorious, but I think it was 4-0 when Aaron Ramsdale was left out with the Sheffield United side that day, but might be making his Arsenal debut on Wednesday at a ground where he could have played last weekend.
Absolutely. I think, Russ, we've got about another 2 minutes. Russ wants to ask you a question, Mike. Go on, fire away, Russ.
Yeah, Mike, obviously last week against Brentford, Leno made a mistake in that game against Brentford last week. I think he he could have done a bit better with the Reece James situation. Do you think, say, if Ramsdale just come in midweek against West Brom and has a fantastic game, keeps a clean sheet, also get through to the next round, do you think he could end up taking over Leno as the first choice goalkeeper in the Premier League for, say, next weekend's match?
It's really dependent on how Aaron Ramsdale performs. I thought Bernd Leno, I don't really think he was at fault for either of the goals, to be honest. I think Aaron Ramsdale would have been quite, would have struggled to save both of those efforts as well. I think it's more Kieran Tierney for me on that left-hand side that was at fault really for both of the goals. As much as I love Kieran Tierney, hopefully his injury is not too bad as well. But for me, that first half was quite poor from him to his usual standards. And then, Bernd Leno, he had a decent second half, in fact. He made that one really good save to deny Lukaku from getting his second as well. And I think that Aaron Ramsdale, is good competition for him. Is a lot more competition than Runnison, than Hine, than Okonkwo will ever be for Arsenal at the moment. If Aaron Ramsdale has a good game on Wednesday, then yeah, why not? But for me, you can't really look at Bernd Leno being at fault for either of those goals. But if Ramsdale performs well on Wednesday, then it'd be interesting to see whether he's keeps his place for what's another massive game against Man City next weekend.
Right, and with that, that's it for us. Because thank you to Russ and to Mike as well for commentating. Mike, superb job under very difficult circumstances, of course, for your club today. But and thank you to Russ for his little cameo at the end. Right, just two more jobs I need to do for you before we go. Firstly, to tell you about the Monday Night Football. Russ will be with you for that one tomorrow night. He'll be in the presenting chair where I am now. He'll be hosting a terrific game of football. I think we might be in for tomorrow night. West Ham and Leicester City, two teams that love to attack, play football the right way. I think this could be a corker of a Monday night game tomorrow night. Join Russ Vernon and his commentating colleague Liam Brusby for full match commentary. That's from 7:50 tomorrow evening with an 8 o'clock kickoff. And right now, on Trevor Sports, which of course is happening right now, actually, because I've got the stream on there. We've got a virtual 100 live match, 100 international, 100 balls aside. You may have seen the new cricket tournament that's been going on in real life. In the virtual world of Trevor Sports, we've got an England versus India match at the moment. So we've got a match between them two at Trent Bridge with myself and Trevor as reprising our roles as Trevor Benno and Trevor Boycott. Yes, I know. That's happening right now. So go over to Trevor's channel if you can and watch the full match of that if you want. We would like some likes on that one if you can. But as far as this game is concerned, thank you very much, as I say, to Russ and to Mike. It's been a pleasure to bring this to you. Arsenal are looking down the barrel at the moment. More toxicness for Arsenal. But for Chelsea, 2 wins out of 2. 5 goals, none conceded, top of the pile, not bad. And they've only got Liverpool to come next. From myself and Russ and from Mike, goodbye for you all. Good night.